Hey, welcome back to the channel. Since there's been several requests inquiring how I go about loading my own black powder cartridges, why don't we go ahead and go over that today? Loading black powder cartridges for your favorite 6-shooter isn't really all that different from loading any cartridge you would normally load for smokeless powder, with a couple of small exceptions. Case preparation is the same for black powder or smokeless cartridges. First off, you're going to have to take your loading press, resize, reprime, and put a slight case mouth flare at the mouth of the case. Since black powder is measured by volume and not by weight, you're going to need a measure made specifically for black powder. These work great for accurately measuring black powder and can be purchased online. I've actually had this one for a very long time, and it was old when I got it. I guess it's at least as old as I am, and I've been accused of being 3 days older than dirt. Well, the bright side is we might be old, but we're still useful. This type of measure is adjustable and can be set to dispense powder in whatever amount you require. Using the numbered increment slider, you simply slide it in or out until you line up the appropriate charge increment stamped on the bar. Then you just simply tighten the set screw, and it's just that simple. If you prefer to load from a flask, you'll need to purchase a screw-on charge spout that dispenses the correct amount of powder. The ones I have are made by Tresco and can also be purchased online. This spout dispenses 35 grains of black powder, which is the exact amount of powder charge I load my 45 Colt cartridges with. It doesn't matter if you're using black powder or a black powder substitute. You simply fill your charge nipple to the end and transfer that charge into one of the prepared cases. The next step is to place a 1/8 inch felt wad on top of the powder charge. While this step isn't exactly critical, I do prefer to load my cartridges this way, and I'll explain a little more about that shortly. Once the wad's been seated on top of the powder, it's time to load and crimp the bullet into the case. But before we do that, here's a bit of information you need to know about bullet lubricants. The bullet on your left is lubed with a petroleum-type lubricant designed for smokeless powder. That type of bullet lube does not work well with black powder, and it can cause excessive fouling in your bore. The bullet on your right is lubed with a mixture of beeswax and, more often than not, lamb's tallow, and it's very compatible for use with black powder, and it won't foul your bore nearly as easily as Alox types or petroleum-based lubricants. My favorite bullet style for loading black powder 45 Colt cartridges is a 250 grain Keith-style semi-wad cutter. It has a nice wide grease groove for lube and allows for a heavy roll crimp. Over the years, these have proven to be an excellent bullet design for black powder use. Since good quality lamb's tallow is getting pretty hard to find these days, and when you do, it's pretty expensive, I've gone to making my own bullet lube with a combination of beeswax and coconut oil, and I found it to be very compatible with black powder cartridges simply by filling the grease groove in the bullet with this mixture. First off, black powder needs to be compressed to ignite properly inside the cartridge. Any airspace left between the bullet and the powder can cause a severe pressure spike when the cartridge is fired, which can permanently damage your gun. Placing a wad between the bullet and the powder charge simply helps eliminate that airspace. Secondly, black powder is easily contaminated by oils and lubricants. The wad also prevents bullet lube from coming in contact with the powder charge. You can make these wads yourself or buy them by the bagful any place they sell black powder shooting supplies. Seating and crimping the bullet is done in exactly the same manner you would for a smokeless powder cartridge. And there we have it. Completed periauthentic black powder cartridges. I say we take a few of these out to the range and see how well they fire. 1873 Colt Bird's Head, firing authentic black powder cartridges. that's more fun than you can shake a stick at. Well, that's all there really is to making your own black powder cartridges. Properly assembled, you'll find that they're just as accurate as smokeless powder rounds. Well, that pretty much winds things up for today. So until next time, practice often, shoot straight, and thanks for stopping by.